Hey, check it out, a car made for me. Because Hyundai says that they're targeting the new venue at young, millennial, urban entrepreneurs. Except I don't live in an urban environment. And I'm also not an entrepreneur. And also, not really a millennial because I'm more of an 80-year-old man. But anyways, in this video, we're going over the top 10 cool things you need to know about the new 2020 Hyundai Venue. I have a really bad feeling that young, urban, entrepreneur, millennial is just another way of saying Instagram model. But if you are an Instagram model, I think you're really gonna like the new Venue because it's a pretty stylish little vehicle. And take a look at the front here. We've got a separated headlight and turn signal, just like the Pontiac Aztek and Jeep Cherokee. But this one actually looks pretty good, which is a plus. The next thing you notice about the Venue is that it's very red. I mean, the spoiler's red and the bumpers are color matched, and in the front there's red in kind of funky little places. The whole thing is very monochromatic, except if you get the denim edition, in which case you have this really cool white roof with blue sides, which add a little bit of flair. But all Venues actually have this, which is pretty neat. In the rear, it's got Venue spelled across, but it's not just chrome letters. The inside are actually painted white, so a really nice little touch. Overall, it's a very stylish little car, and I specifically like these taillights that have these diagonal slashes in them. I gotta say, I think they absolutely knocked the style of the Venue right out of the park. It's cute, quirky, and very approachable. It has a lot of the same DNA that I think the original Volkswagen had. Just a very great looking, simple design. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, but what's the interior like? At number 9, we have this 8-inch screen, which looks pretty good, it's pretty easy to use, and is just a generally good infotainment system. And the great news is this 8-inch display is standard on all Hyundai Venues, as is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now, if you do opt for a high-end model like this one, you can get navigation with a map that'll show you what downtown Miami looks like in this case. Pretty cool stuff, but it is also linked up with SiriusXM to show traffic and will basically work like Waze or Google Maps to get you where you need to go in the fastest possible time. The seats in this Venue look absolutely brilliant. They're two-tone, gray and black. I like these little striping that are kind of off-center. Just a really good looking seat design. Unfortunately, they're just not very comfy. They're a little bit like a park bench. They're just too hard, too firm, and even on this driver's side, I don't have lumbar support, which is just kind of unacceptable for longer road trips if you ask me. There are a couple things that do fall a little bit short inside here in the Venue. For example, the climate control. This center dial here doesn't do anything at all. It just displays the automatic temperature setting, which is a nice feature, but why is it here in the center and why doesn't it do anything? I really want it to twist or turn or have some kind of function. And then the other thing that falls short is the grab handle situation, because you see here on the driver's side I have a cutout for a grab handle, but there's not one installed. Why not? Why is there not one? Because there's one here on the passenger side, and in the rear, both rear passengers actually have their own grab handles. So there's 3 grab handles in this car, but not one for the driver. But actually, while we're in the rear seat, I must say, there's actually quite a lot of room. I'm 6'1", this is my driving position. Yes, my knees are a little bit buried into the seat back, but check this out. The advantage of having such a square design is tons of rear seat headroom. There's only one engine option here in the brand new Venue, and it's a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder, naturally aspirated, 121 horsepower and 113 pound-feet of torque, which isn't a lot. But the good news is the EPA rates this car at 32 mpg combined, and there's actually 2 fuel injectors per cylinder, which is kind of unique, to eliminate gas surrounding the actual cylinder wall, making this engine more efficient and a little bit cleaner to burn. The Venue is only available in front-wheel drive, which is a little bit of a shame. Now, some of its competition, like the Toyota CHR and Nissan Kicks, are also available only in front-wheel drive. But then other vehicles like the Honda HR-V, you can get all-wheel drive in. Now, Hyundai's actually included a snow mode, and they've assured me that in cold environments, it'll get you to where you need to go when the going gets rough in the snow. I'm not so sure though. Take a look at the slip test they demonstrated.
And we are in snow mode. And again, this is a unique algorithm for the traction control system. Okay? And we are in snow mode, and you're going to see the action of snow mode now. He's going to accelerate out of this position.
In snow mode, it still allowed a lot of slippage of one wheel that was stuck in a set of rollers, which is basically the exact same test I do at home, by the way, Hyundai. Anyways, let me know what you think of the traction control system. Is it going to get you where you need to go? They say about 50% of their SUV sales are only all-wheel drive, so they figure front-wheel drive will do. Now, the funny thing about this front end here is actually the tires. These are Nexon tires, which is a South Korean brand, which makes sense for a South Korean car. So one of the issues with the Venue is the performance. And I know it's not a performance vehicle, it's a tiny crossover, but it still is a little bit lacking. Let me demonstrate with a simple merge onto a 2-lane road. Are you ready? All right, and here we go, full throttle. I mean, it's just a little whiny, and you don't really go anywhere all that quickly. It's sufficient, but just barely sufficient for this class. So other than straight line acceleration, the rest of the Venue is actually a fairly nice place to spend time when you're driving along. It has a very basic rear suspension. It's a torsion beam, but it still absorbs bumps reasonably well. It never feels to get out of sorts, and the steering is surprisingly direct. This drives a lot more like a traditional hatchback than just about any crossover I've ever driven, and that's a good thing. It's also surprisingly quiet in here. It doesn't allow a lot of sound in other than the engine drone, but there's not a lot of road noise, there's not a lot of suspension creaks or drones. It feels well put together. Alright, sure, it's not a sports car, it's not gonna be all that fun to drive, but especially in the city, it's nice and small, very maneuverable, and it will get you where you need to go, and more importantly, get you to park where you need to be. So the Venue has just under 19 cubic feet of space here in the rear, which is plenty of room for a couple of camera bags and of course all of our luggage we may have. It's got a pretty low liftover height, which is nice, not much of a lip. And let's see what's in the rear here under the parcels tray. Ooh, space saver spare tire. Hey, at least it's better than nothing. Okay, so just coming off of a heart attack because I just accidentally locked the keys in the car of the Venue, but thank goodness for BlueLink, which is the app that controls the Hyundai, so I can do cool stuff like this. Remote start the car, submit, and come on, baby. Come on. Don't make me look like a fool. You got this, car. All right, so about 3 or 4 hours later, the car remote started and we're good to go down the road. Everything is all set up. No, I'm being a little facetious, but it is a little bit slow. However, it did save my bank in and allow me to get the key out of the car when I had locked it in there. All right, welcome to the environment of the millennial urban entrepreneur, downtown Miami. And this is where this car excels, except for one area, because when you're stuck in traffic, I like to put my arm up here or down here, and both of these are super hard plastic, which is a real bummer. And as a bonus, let's talk about these little, I'm not sure what they are, diamond plating, addition signs. The Venue has these funny little patterns on the back end of the rear splitter, which I guess is a nice little style touch, although I'm not really sure what they're there for. So the new Venue has this feature where if you are, well, I have a feeling you know what it's for, but currently we're stopped in line waiting to get into this private property, and it's letting you know if you're not paying attention, the leading vehicle is driving away. But what that really is for those millennials of you out there who are stopped at a stoplight, for sure texting the person in front of you drives away. It's like, hey idiot, pay attention, the leading vehicle is driving. Look, there it goes, even talking to you. Leading vehicle is driving away. Don't text and drive. Please don't text and drive, but if you aren't paying attention, the Venue has your back. All right, let's talk about number one, which has to be value. The SEL you see behind me comes in at $23,280. which is a pretty affordable little car. Now it does come with some cool safety features like frontal collision avoidance, lane keep assist, and of course that great backup camera. And if you're looking for a new car for not a lot of outlay, the Venue is certainly a pretty good deal. However, as good as it looks, as feature-filled as it is, it still isn't very fun to drive, and it just really isn't all that comfortable with those rock-hard seats. Well, as always, this is Tommy with the Fastlane Car. Head over to tflcar.com for the latest and greatest in new car and Venue reviews.